Hello, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where we triple your impact per engineer. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, advisor and consultant to tech executives worldwide, and our subject today is Geeks in the Boardroom. Before I get to that, this is Aviv from the future, and I'm editing this episode to let you know that I'm hosting a free webinar called From Surviving to Thriving about how to leverage the current tech crisis and ensure that your team is going to emerge from it stronger than ever, ready to conquer the market. Details in the show notes. And of course, I'm guessing you've already heard about it, but I have a new community for executives in tech. It's called the Leading Edge Club. See more details in the show notes. Now, Geeks in the Boardroom. The other day I was browsing LinkedIn and I saw someone with a very, I think, misguided take, which basically said star CTOs are not going to join your startup at an early stage, and therefore you are better off having a fractional CTO until you hit B stage. And I'm sorry, but that makes no sense whatsoever. Because, well, B stage, first of all, nowadays, that's quite a big company. And I wouldn't like to outsource my tech leadership that far into the future. Second, I genuinely tell people who come up to me who want to start a startup but have no technical co-founder that most of the times, if they cannot find a good co-founder, they're better off not starting that company. Because, a startup is a tech company. You have to have a solid tech leadership. And having an employee CTO is possible, but it's always harder. So think twice. Now, even more so, I want to talk for a second about what does it mean to get a fractional CTO, because maybe some of you are considering doing that. Maybe some of you are doing that, or even you're getting some advice from one. I used to do this before I just changed to being an advisor and coach for executives. And I used to do a CTO as a service from time to time. And even when I did that, I always, from the get-go, said that this is always an interim solution. It is never something that should be considered the right way in the long term, because a tech company needs in-house tech leadership. You're not going to have a fractional CEO, right? Now, how does this relate to those of you who are CTOs or VPs of engineering in companies? Well, this sort of take is only possible because so many executives, so many CEOs don't understand the value of having tech leadership in the boardroom. They see it as sort of a nanny having to take care of those engineers and not as a genuine executive. And if that's the case for your company, first of all, you just might be swapped out for a fractional CTO, but also you're not being given the power that you need in order to really manifest tech excellence within the company. Because there's a clear ceiling to how much impact you can have when you're not privy of these discussions about strategy, when you cannot take part in forming those roadmaps. And therefore, if you notice this, I want you to make the case for Geeks in the Boardroom. Now, this happens to be the title of one of the chapters in my upcoming book. And to sum it up real fast, my basic case here is this is a tech company. Tech companies have to have tech executives in the boardroom. I'm guessing you're not going to outsource the CEO, you're not going to outsource the CRO. You shouldn't be outsourcing the CTO. Again, unless we're talking about an interim solution, or maybe if you're a pre-seed company or something like that. But other than that, you have to be part of the boardroom. And if you're right now an executive, hold an executive title, and are not in those meetings, I'm sorry to tell you that, but you are not a real executive. You are a glorified manager. You're a team lead with a fancy title. And that might feel nice the first couple of months, but then deep inside, you can tell that you are not really doing what you should be doing. And life is too short for that, and you're doing your team a disservice. They cannot have amazing impact per engineer when their leader is not giving the leeway, the leverage to actually unlock that. Life is too short. Do you want to have another year doing the same, or do you want to make a change? bust the door open and claim your seat around the boardroom table. That's the only way to get to Impact Per Engineer that I know. If you don't know how to do that, you have my email in the show notes. Talk to me. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. If you haven't yet, do subscribe to my newsletter. It's the best one for tech execs. And again, check out the Leading Edge Club. Thank you. Talk soon.